I was working out, and as I was leaving, I saw like four dudes with an EA Sports shirt with an EA Sports polo. I'm like,
Straight up out the gate, I'm
Joining us on In Shambles today, we have former Florida Gators football player turned social media superstar. Welcome to In Shambles, Clifford Taylor the Fourth. How are we?
I'm good. How you doing?
Man, I'm doing great. I'm super pumped to have you on this podcast. Man, what's been going on with you?
Speaking of in shambles, your boy was in shambles. Like what was it 2, 3 weeks ago, man? So like, you know, there's this big creator league going on with like House of Highlights and things like that. So they
Yeah.
put me up against Ross 500. We all know, we've all seen him before. So ex NFL player, but yeah, I hadn't laced the cleats up in years, and that was a good little reminder. So I've literally looked at myself in the mirror. I'm like, man, I got to like trim down some weight a little bit, but yeah. Other than
I
that,
feel
man,
you.
everything's been going good, man. Just kind of taking things, one step at a time. Got got the Clifford show operating now, running,
Oh,
through and
yeah.
through. But yeah, no, it's been great.
Oh, yeah, man. I feel you. I want to go back a couple years. So you walked onto the Florida Gators football team in 2019. Just how hard is it to actually walk on to a college football program? Because I tried, and they didn't let me walk on.
I think and I say this respectfully, I think it was a lot harder back then than it is now because now I feel like it's a lot more public. Because when I was there, I mean, I come from the Mullen era, so it was like very, very low key. So you pretty much had to either know somebody or you just had to pretty much damn near be a stalker to know what was going on. So
Yeah.
for me, fortunately, I was already cool with some of the players that were there. So before that, I actually initially wanted to walk on for basketball.
Really?
Long story short, that didn't work out. So I just started playing intramurals, and then I would go to some of these parties, and I would ask like players like, this is Kyle Pitts before he was Kyle Pitts, like when he was a
Yeah.
freshman. So I'd be like, yo, Kyle, do you know anybody I can like reach out to as far as like just asking? Like all I need is an opportunity. That's all I need is an opportunity. And so he put me in the right direction, gave me some contacts. I stayed in contact with them all the time, and I just started like just getting in shape, working out, doing anything humanly possible to give me a better chance of making the team. Because like at that time, I want to say 200 pounds on a good day. I was like very, very skinny, and so I had to put on some weight. Obviously, the endurance and speed was already there, so I just wanted to put on some weight, get my hands right and things like that. So it's definitely a lot harder then because like I remember at my meeting there was only like 9 people, and when the tryout happened, it was like four of us. Nowadays, like I see like kids like doing actual like vlogs of the experience, and they were saying it was like 60, 70, 80 deep. So I would definitely say it was a lot harder than just to even like find out like if you could get an opportunity or not. But I'm honestly glad that it's like a lot more open now because that opens up a lot of doors for a whole lot of people, Exhibit A.
It
So
does.
yeah.
I tried to walk on. So I went to the University of Texas, 2018.
Uh,
I was bored, and I was like, you know what? Why not try to walk on as punter? Like I got nothing going on. So I started practicing for maybe a month or two. Like clearly not that good or anything. Texas football social media posted walk-on tryouts on their Instagram, which I was shocked. I was like, I didn't know they did that. Go to the meeting. There's probably like 30 of us there. Go to the tryouts. All it is our kicker and punter at the time. No coaches, no nothing. Three of us trying to punt. They give us three punts. After that, they're like, all right, you guys did great. Go home. And then a week later, it's like, nah, man, you didn't get it. I guarantee you, they told the coaches we just suck. Granted, we did. Granted, we did.
they
Granted, we did.
they
They didn't want
pretty
us.
much yeah they pretty much told us that like at the walk on meeting they're like, we're only using you guys because we need like numbers and we need depth. So
Yeah.
I kind of like they ain't have to tell me that. Like I already knew what I was getting myself into. Like I wasn't gonna be, walk on turned All American in
Yeah,
2 years.
yeah.
That's just not gonna happen. So it was just one of those things where I just kind of had to learn my place and learn my role, which was different nonetheless. Because I'm coming
Yeah.
from like coming from Charlotte. Like I was in basketball world, I was one of the guys. You know what I'm saying? Like I was like a captain, all conference, like all that good stuff. But yeah, it was definitely the biggest piece of humble pie, but at the same time, it was one of the best things that could ever happen to me for sure.
Yeah, 100%. I'm sure it was an amazing experience. I ended up getting into recruiting a couple years later for our school. Ended up leaving a couple months later. But moving on, though. Moving on. Most people know you from social media, but a lot of people don't know that you're a Super Bowl champion. Tell me a little bit about that.
Yeah,
Tell me a
yeah.
little about that.
Yeah, man. So I mean, it was like, I mean, the stars again, they just aligned so perfectly. So, after I graduated from Florida, like 3 days later, packed my stuff, flew to LA, got a job with so yeah, what I'm saying, go Gators. But yeah, I got an opportunity to work for the Rams. I was doing, social media and design for them, which was really cool. I mean, that time just like came and went. And my time there was like it was cool. Like it was definitely a big humbling learning experience, kind of like football in a sense, because for me it was one of those things where I just wanted to like learn as much as I possibly could. So therefore, like if this personal content creation doesn't work out, I have, at least a little, backup plan if that doesn't work
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
So, working in sports like that year was just a blessing in itself. Granted, you had some hiccups here and there, but good vibes only. So, yeah, man, got a Super Bowl out of it, and yeah, and it's crazy because like I think 3 or 4 days later, after I announced that I was leaving, the NBA came calling, and so little backstory to that. So the year before, when I was just like applying for jobs before graduation, the only reason I didn't take the NBA job that moment was because they were looking for someone to start like that day. And so
Yeah.
I just pretty much stayed in contact with them throughout that year, like kind of just doing like little check-ins. Like I'm telling y'all, those little check-ins that you do with other teams or other leagues,
Big.
I'm telling you, it comes back to bless you in a big way. So I was fortunate enough for them to reach out to me, and then they said like, hey, like you want to come work for us? And I was like, absolutely, because it's kind of going back to my first love, which is basketball. Had no idea that they were going to take me to the finals, though.
Hey,
I
hey,
didn't,
hey.
I didn't expect that at all. I thought I was going to go in there kind of like learn the system because I felt like I came in relatively really late in the season. Like I started like around the play-in is when I started, so I thought it was like I came in a little too late. But I remember my boss telling me she was like, "Would you like to go to the finals?" And I was like, "Would I?"
I was
So
like, nah, I'm good. I'm
yeah,
good. I'm
would I?
good.
Would I? So yeah, I mean we were traveling, obviously to like to San Francisco, to Boston, man. I was eating like a king, man. I think I
Oh,
put on
man.
like I think I put on like 15 pounds that whole trip alone. But yeah, no, that
Free
was a
food
crazy.
is the best thing
Yeah.
in the world, man.
Oh, I'm telling you. And then they had us in the and first of all, I had never heard of the Encore before. You know, a big hotel in Vegas. So they had one in Boston. So
Yeah, yeah.
I didn't know what this was. I thought this was just like an Intercontinental, Marriott, whatever. So man, we go in there and it's like they had like a Ferris wheel in there. They had like a little casino station downstairs.
Huge.
They had like replicas of like the Celtics banners at the top of the building. So
Oh
I'm
my
like,
god.
where are we? And then bro, we walked in this room, bro, and it was one of those like jaw droppers where you just kind of look and you're like, am I in the right place right now? So that's when I knew I was like, man, NBA got money, money. So like we could just, relax in here and just like have our own room. I'm like, yeah, yeah, they got money, money. So that was a really, really, really cool experience. Humbling because it was like, hey man, take this all in because you may never get this chance again. So enjoy it as much as you can. And
Yeah.
I sure did. I was outside, but yeah, no, it was a great experience.
And a lot of people don't realize that when you work in sports, especially to start out, it's not what you think it's going to be. It's not, oh, you're
Yeah.
just doing some work and going to the games. I mean, you were working more hours than you are getting paid for. You got to put in your dues
Yeah.
to, it's
Yeah.
it's really hard, and you're not going to make it for a while. But if you just pay your dues and keep going, and it's something that I personally learned, and I realized, okay, maybe this side of the sports world isn't for me. But if you stick with it, if you're really passionate about it, you can 100% make it. All you need is a
Yeah.
chance. All you need is an opportunity. Be the first one in, last one out, and prove yourself.
Absolutely.
That's the
Yeah.
best way to make it in sports. Wouldn't you agree?
Yeah, I think honestly it was the best thing for like doing my own thing now because one thing it just taught me is like it taught me like this ain't just like a Monday through Friday 9 to 5 thing. It's like an every single day thing. Like sometimes I
Every
gotta
day.
like now doing the stuff I'm doing that now I gotta remind myself like, hey, like look, you got this crazy motor, but hey, it's okay to like kind of like spread it out, branch it out a little bit.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
yeah, they definitely taught me to work, Sunday to Sunday, 24/7. So like I'm always just like every single day, I'm just like, all right, what can we cook up today? What can we do tomorrow? What can like I'm always trying to just get ahead. So they definitely taught me to work beyond what is expected, and that's I think the cool thing about working in sports that people don't even realize is like once you're gone, you'll see it's like man, it's like I still want to I still want to work because you're just so used to it from
Yeah.
working in sports. Now, not gonna lie, it can be very draining as you say, but I mean at least in my experience, it's been the biggest help in my career for sure.
It's awesome, man. If you're listening to this and you want to get into sports, take the leap. You won't regret it. Just know what you're expecting. Know what's
I
coming.
recently got put on the Edge Boost, and it's completely transforming my betting game. Let me tell you, this is the world's first bet now, pay later program that, unlike credit cards, has zero interest. How does it work? Let's say you're feeling great about this weekend's game, but you wish you had an extra $100 to bet. Simply set up your Edge account now. Whenever you want to double down on a bet, deposit into the virtual card, and Edge will match your deposit. Simple. Head over to the link in the description, double down, and double your winnings with Edge Boost.
Clifford, I want to talk to you about your TikTok. You have over 1 million followers on TikTok. And if you think about it, you have a following larger than 75 countries. How wild is that just to visualize?
I mean, I never heard it like that because I'm so
Yeah,
used to saying that's about 10 Ben Hill Griffin stadiums, but
yeah.
saying it like that, I mean
It's
it's
75
it's
countries.
yeah 70
That's a
yeah
lot of
that's
land.
man
That's
that's
a
a
lot of
lot of
land.
yeah that's a lot of land, man. It's I tell you what though, man, it's one of those things where like I think that moment like when I hit it, it just like everything that happened at once just like hit me because I mean I'm sure you've seen like that. I mean this little run I had from like January to like I'm gonna say March. I mean I'm sure you've seen it. The Lakers need a center.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
I'm telling you, bro. I mean, I had that algorithm in a chokehold with that. I mean, like, bro, like, there. I mean, I was just doing some just out of like just thought. I'm just like, I did one where it was like when a 7'1" kid is breathing, and I literally stand still like a mannequin, and I think it was like one of my most viewed ones, and I was like, bro. So like I think just seeing it go from because man I was stuck in the 300s um for a long time, for like about a good year and a half. Um and I think when I was in LA, I wasn't as confident in my content as I was when I moved back to the East Coast in Jersey. When I moved to Jersey, oh man, I was cooking like every single day. And so I took a little break, like in November, December, because I was dealing with some mental stuff, so I was just like, I want to take a break, kind of like see like where my mind and where my heart is at, and if I like really want to do this thing. And so, my therapist was a big time helping and really helping me like, finalize and make that decision. Because if you would have told me or asked me last year, do I want to do this social media stuff like for the longevity? I would probably be like, I'm not sure. But now it's a definite yes. And so once I decided this is what I wanted to do and do my own thing, I'm like, I'm all in. Like, let's keep it pushing. Forget the numbers. Let's just keep creating and just see what it does. And then next thing you know, you see you're at 4. Like my end of year goal this year was 500K on TikTok. That was my end of year goal, and we hit it in January. So I was like, okay, 5. And then yeah, and then next thing I know, I'm at 6, and then I'm at 7, and then I'm like, wait a minute, what is going on? And then 8, and then 9, and then I had like me and my best friends. We had a trip to Fort Lauderdale, in Florida, and I was like, bro, how fitting would that be if I hit 1 million in Florida with my best friends right there? And bro, sure enough, it happened, bro. And like I said, every emotion at that moment, I mean, you could just see me like visibly like crying because I mean, it's one of those things where it's like at first, I mean, it started as a hobby and then it turned into, just a little passion, and then that passion turned into a career. And so hitting that milestone, that's something I never, ever, ever thought I would hit. And so, I mean, looking at it now, it's like for me, it's like, okay, now the work is like really starting. Shout out to everyone that's been there, since 2019. But it's one of those things now where it's like, okay, now I gotta like, keep it pushing, keep creating, keep, inspiring, keep making people laugh, whichever department they know me for. And yeah, we just got to keep it pushing, man. So yeah, it's honestly it's a huge honor, huge blessing, and I wouldn't change it for anything.
Love it, man. You just got to keep leveling up step by
Yeah,
step.
for
And when
sure.
you find the series, you got to double down on it, keep doing it.
That's
Milk it till
oh
it's
man,
dry. Milk it till
man,
it's dry.
and it's so crazy because I used to preach like anytime people would ask me for advice, I would always say that I hate repetition. But man, I'm not gonna lie to you. When you see those 2 meals, those 3 meals, I'm like, I might maybe I'm the problem. Maybe I gotta
Yeah, yeah.
hit a detour, make some adjustments, and turn out to be the best decision for me. So
I've been doing this series called "Not Breathing Till I Get a Player Better Than," and it's like NBA
I've seen
generate. And you seen
I've
them?
seen a few of those. Yeah, I've seen a few of those.
Yeah,
Yeah,
bro. So
yeah.
I started with one. It was a little slow, and I'm like, all right, I'm gonna keep doing it, whatever. Then it was like 2 million, 2.5, 2.0, 2.0,
Telling you.
2.3, and they just kept going. So I'm like, all right, I gotta run with it. And so now it's like, all right, how do I
I've seen
how
a
do I
few of
level up
those.
from here?
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah. I just
yeah.
gotta keep leveling up, man. But NIL, it's a little more recent than when you first started in college football. But how big of a factor do you think NIL is in college recruiting?
Man, I mean, it's huge. I mean, I would say, man, these opportunities that these cats are getting, I'm talking about like out of high school. I
Yeah.
mean, you getting like car deals, you getting like deals at Outback Steakhouse, you know what I'm saying? Maybe even a Barnes
Blooming
and
onion, man.
Noble.
They got the blooming
Yeah,
onion
the
special.
blooming onion special, man. So I say this. I got like a love hate relationship with it, and that's just the walk on in me talking because you know we still don't really get nothing unless you're like a social media guy, like a unless you're like a John Seaton, a Brandon Dwyer, a Jordan John, you know what I'm saying, or like thinking guys like that. So yeah, with NIL, I would have done a fifth year if NIL was in place that January of 21. Remember they kept pushing it and pushing it and pushing it, and then they started like all the way in the summer, and I'm like, yeah, I just missed out on it. But yeah, I do think there needs to be a little bit of like, all right, y'all, like let's be realistic, but I don't want to give NCAA that satisfaction. But it's really cool to see like these guys, get these opportunities because now I think what you're seeing a lot more of now is a lot of these guys returning, back to school, which is really cool. I mean, heck, I think I don't know how they do it in women's college basketball, but I mean, like Angel Reese just got like
Yeah,
a new like what was like a Mercedes or like Benz or
yeah.
something like
She
that,
she
like
knew she was
something.
gonna make more money in
Yeah, make
women's
more
college
money.
basketball. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah, especially like now. Like man, I don't know if you've seen, man. I don't know what's going on in the W right now. It's like every time I look, a top player is getting like released, or and I'm like,
it
yeah,
doesn't make
man,
sense what's
maybe,
going on.
yeah. I'm not sure what's going on. So I hope that picks up soon. But yeah, no, NIL has been great, and I'm telling you, it's gonna be even greater when this new video game drop. I'm telling you,
Oh my
next
god,
year.
yeah.
I'm telling you, next year, my entire July will be blocked off. It will be blocked off. So. Yeah, NIL is good, but I do think there can be like a little bit more revamping. But like I said, I will not give the NCAA that satisfaction.
With this new NCAA video game coming out, they're bringing it back. Who's your go-to team to play as? Is it Florida?
Oh, Florida. Yeah,
Yeah, I
yeah,
mean,
man.
out
So
of all
like,
the teams, you're
yeah,
still going Florida. Out of all the teams, you're still going Florida.
yeah. Absolutely. Oh man, absolutely. Yeah.
Richardson's gone. Like, who are you gonna play with as quarterback? Some
Hey,
fun.
listen, they got the Heisman Challenge. Give me Danny, give me
Yeah,
Steve, give me
yeah.
Tim. Yeah,
All right.
but yeah, no, I used to play as Florida, and I used to play as North Carolina. Because if I didn't go to Florida, I would 1,000% be a Tar Heel, one thousand
Yeah,
percent.
that's fair.
Yeah,
That's fair.
1,000. So,
I'm all right with that.
yeah, Florida and UNC. I don't know about you, but every game I like to tweak the uniforms. I'm like, okay, let me see. We're gonna do blue on
Yeah.
orange, blue
Arm
on blue,
sleeve. Oh.
arm slit. Yeah, So I'm gonna be. I mean, I'm gonna be cooking in the edit accessory section.
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I'm telling you, like I'm so excited for this game. Like I'll never forget where I was. So I my well, not my ex now, but like my girl at the time and back in college. I remember, I think we were just doing like homework at my place, and my best friend who went to Florida State, he called me like basically crying, and I'm like, you good? And he's like, it's back, and I was like, give me context, like what is back? And he's like, NCAA, and I'm like, bro, you probably just saw like a little fake thing on Twitter. He's like, bro, look, and then I saw EA college football, and it was like for those who never gave up, and I was like. I almost started crying. And my girl was like,
It's like we won the
like what?
chip.
Like literally. And my girl was like, what's wrong? And I was like, don't worry about it. Just don't talk to me in July.
Don't
A
worry
couple
about it,
years.
sweetheart.
Yeah, don't worry
I
about
gotta
it. So
process.
yeah, man. So yeah, I'm telling you, like, there's gonna be chills through the roof when that game comes out next year. Like, it was supposed to come out this year,
Yeah, I wish it did, man.
I wish it did. But then again, it's like, would it have been what it's about to be next year? Probably not. So you know what?
Right.
And it's crazy because I actually like when I was working out in the Florida facility because that new facility is crazy. I was working out, and as I was leaving, I saw like four dudes with an EA Sports shirt with an EA Sports polo. I'm like, so I'm like, first of all, what are y'all doing in this facility? So I'm like, oh, y'all about to put this joint in the game. So yeah, I think that game about to be next level next year. I can't wait for it. Cannot wait for it.
Let's go NIL to NFL. Who are your top 3 quarterbacks in the league right now?
Top three right now. Okay. Got to start with Patty Mahomes. Got to start with Patty Mahomes. See, for me, it's like you know what? I would say Josh Allen. Yeah,
Okay.
Josh Allen.
We'll go
And
Allen
then
at the 2 spot.
and then three for me is a tie. It's a little tie between Hurts and Burrow. For me,
Okay.
that's like a little tie. But yeah, definitely Mahomes and Allen 1 and 2, and then either Hurts or Burrow.
I like that.
Can't go wrong either way. And then Lamar right after that. So yeah, can't go
Yeah.
wrong either way.
Good top 5. Good top 5. We'll take it. So, obviously, you're a big basketball guy as well. You said you were the guy in Charlotte. I believe it. Who you got playing in the finals this year?
You know what, man? You know it's crazy. I mean, looking at the
Talk to me.
last couple games, man, I would like no one has said their name, bro. But this Denver Nuggets team
This
is
Nuggets team is
loaded.
going to the finals. I agree.
This Nuggets team,
I
man. I
agree.
mean, this Nuggets team. I mean, they remind me so much of that 2020 was 2021 Bucks team. They remind me so much of that team. They remind me of the '04 like Pistons, where they don't have like a lot of the you know characterized superstars. I mean, they got
Yeah.
Nikola, they got Jamal Murray, but they're not like over the top guys. You know, the NBA now
Yeah.
stands for nothing but actors. But I'm telling you, I would not be surprised if the Nuggets like won this thing because like I mean, I've been watching them a little before the playoffs started, and they just click.
They
They just
play good
click.
basketball. They play pretty
Yes,
basketball.
amazing fundamental basketball. And the thing is, it's like they could be down like 10 or 15, but you never see them like decline. They're always like this. They're always like
Yeah.
this. And that was a clear indication when they played the Suns in this previous series. So I would not be surprised if it was the Nuggets. And I might be a little biased because they brought me to game 3 of the last series, but I would not be surprised if it was the Nuggets and the Heat. I would not be
Yeah.
surprised. Would not be surprised. I think the Nuggets would get it because they just got a little more pieces there. I think the Heat are still relatively like young. They got some young bucks, but yeah, I would not be surprised if the Nuggets win it.
Man, it's tough because the Eastern Conference, like Jimmy's doing it by himself, kind of. I
Yeah.
mean,
Oh yeah.
who's our
Playoff Jimmy.
Oladipo got hurt? Who else got hurt? Is
Oh
it just
man, he
Oladipo?
got hurt. Hero got hurt.
Hero got hurt.
Um.
I
Yeah,
still got
man.
Lowry and Bam. I mean, he's got the pieces. It's great to see
Yeah.
Jimmy. Jimmy just turns it on in the playoffs, man. Oladipo got hurt,
Yeah.
man.
He like messed up his leg like bad. Like
Yeah, it was bad, man.
they were saying it was like almost like career threatening or something like that.
Yeah, hopefully he's all
Yeah.
right, man. But that leads
Yeah.
me into what this next question is. Would you rather see LeBron win his 5th ring or see Jimmy Butler win his first?
I'm not gonna lie. I'm all about change. So I would like to see like these deserving superstars win it. So
Yeah,
I'd rather see
I
Jimmy
would
win
too.
it.
LeBron's
Yeah.
got 4 of them, man. Let's let
Yeah,
Jimmy.
he's
Let's let
got
Big
four. I
Face
mean,
Coffee get one.
yeah, for me, he's got nothing to prove. Now, with that said, if he gets this one, listen, the MJ fans gonna have to they gonna have to like witness his greatness because it's like personally, because I've never seen MJ play, but for me, LeBron, I mean, all-time leading scorer, basically
He's got it
leads
all.
the league, and yeah, he's got it
Yeah,
all.
he's got it all.
So like he's my go, but we can go back and forth with that. But yeah, I think it would be cool to kind of see like a superstar who's been like just continuing to rise every single year since he won that most improved like back in like 2015.
Yeah. Oh,
It would just kind of complete the story of like probably one of the best single-handed playoff runs ever. So yeah, it'd be
would,
cool to see
man.
him win one.
I hope to see it. Hope we see it. Fate of the universe on the line. Martian's got the death beam pointed at Earth. You need to bet. You need to bet on one NBA player to score 50 points in the playoffs.
In the
Who are you betting
playoffs.
on? Who are you betting on? It doesn't have to be a team that's still in. It could be anybody.
Okay,
50
okay.
points in the playoffs. 50 points in the
30
playoffs.
points in the playoffs.
Fate of the universe on the line.
I want Iguodala. Now I'm playing.
I want Iguodala.
Fate of the universe on the line. and we've seen him in game clinching series, I would still give it to the kid from Akron. I still would.
Still
Either him or
Braun?
yeah, still Braun. Either him or Curry. Yeah, because
I
like,
like Dame for this. I like Damian Lillard for this.
oh, that's a good pick. Oh, that's a
Nah, it's
good
too late.
pick.
It's too late. You said you're.
Yeah, it's too late. It's too late.
Nah,
But
nah.
man, that
We can
is a
still
good
throw it on
pick.
Dame. We can still throw it on
That
Dame.
is a good pick. Yeah. Dang, that is a good
He's
pick.
just so
Yeah.
good in the playoff. He's just so clutch, man. I can see it.
Yeah,
The fourth
man.
quarter takeover.
It's really a shame that he just doesn't have any pieces like around
I
him, man.
know.
It's a
I
shame.
know. I know.
But hey, man,
Hopefully they
he
find
might
it.
mess around and end up with the Spurs.
Yeah, I don't. Dude, Portland is the worst franchise in the NBA. That's what
uh, them or
that's what I
the
think.
or who just Detroit. Detroit.
Yeah, I feel like they're getting
Yeah.
on the right track now, but like the Portland's front office is just awful. Detroit at least seems like they're trying to make the right steps now.
Yeah, well, man, you talking to a Hornets fan. We've been in the gutter since
Dude,
I've been
I wanted the
alive, bro.
Hornets to imagine Wemby and LaMelo Ball on a fast break. Come on,
Bro.
I was
And,
hoping you
and
guys got it, but
And the thing is, I didn't even watch the lottery because I'm so used to getting like the ninth pick, the sixth pick.
yeah,
But then my buddy's like, turn on the lottery, and I'm like, what you mean? He's like, bro, the Hornets are in the top five, and I'm like, all right, well, we got to get 5 or 4. So 5-4 commercial, and I'm like, why would you do that? Why would you do that? And then number 3, and I'm like, that's not the Hornets. And then number 2, and I'm like, ah. So
I will
give
take
me,
it. We'll take it.
yeah, I'll take it. Give me Scoot or preferably Scoot, but give me Scoot or Brandon Miller. I'm
I
good.
think you guys are
I'm
taking
good.
Brandon Miller. I don't know. You don't have a
That's
good
what I
small forward.
yeah, that's what I've been hearing too. Give me Scoot or Brandon Miller.
Yeah, we'll be
I'm
set.
good. I'm
We'll be
good.
set. What do you make of the whole Ja Morant situation going on?
It's almost like me trying to go out the house saying I'm gonna rob somebody. You know what I'm saying? Like it's just like I tell them I'm like, yo man, like come to the corny side. We don't have to worry about nothing. You don't have to worry about anything. So,
Yeah,
yeah, I would say the whole he's in a world of trouble. I mean, I think you heard
yeah,
it
a lot of trouble.
when Adam Silver was talking about him. I mean, he sounded like he lost his son when he was talking to Malik Andrews.
He was pissed.
So,
Man. I mean,
yeah,
Ja
he
like
was
spit in
yeah.
his face, bro. He spit in Silver's
Yeah,
face, spit in NBA's
basically,
face. Like,
yeah. It was one of those things where it was like I talked to him and he still did the same thing over. So now since you like crossed me, now I got to send a message not only to you
yeah,
but the entire league. So it would not surprise me at all if he got like at least 20 or 40. It would not
yeah.
surprise me at all.
I
Unfortunately,
think
it
he's
would not
got to,
surprise
bro.
me.
I think he's got whole season. No, I don't think he's just
No, not whole
not the
season.
whole season, but half. 20 to 40, I think is a good amount. Just learn
Yeah,
your
yeah,
lesson, man.
man. But yeah, my
Do you
thing,
think
yeah.
do you think it's harder to make it as a creator or an athlete?
I would say athlete, and the only reason only reason I say that is because you got like a whole bunch of players in like mini camps, you know, rookie camps, all going for the same thing, and that's in any sport. And at the same time, you just get an immense amount of pressure on you all the time, like money coming in. If you got relationships, friendships that you gotta like, you gotta make those sacrifices. So I would say I would definitely say athletes. Now with that said, the same thing kind of happens like with creators now because one thing I try to tell people is like it was so easy to like get followers like just a couple years ago. Now it's like now it's like you got to come up with something new every single. It's getting hard. So that's why I'm glad I hit a mill the way I did because like who knows? I'll probably still be like in the threes or the fours or something like that. So there's definitely a lot that comes with it, and so I actually got a story now that you say that. So I would say that there's a little bit of humility that has to go into like this whole content creation thing. So, because I swear a lot of people they'll see that M on that account, and they'll let that just suck their whole life in. So, I never forget like so me and my buddies were in Fort Lauderdale, and we went to this party, and I was really good friends. His name's Jody Rue, one of the best party hosts out there. Shout out Jody. But yeah, so he brought me up, and so I did not know that he knew that I like hit a mill that day. So he let me up there, and for that moment, it was like kind of cool, like seeing like everybody react the way they did. And it was just like it was a cool, humbling experience because like that's never happened to me before. I've never been brought to the stage and like, hey, this guy. And so I never forget. So this kid, he had to be like still in college, and he goes, how did you get up there? And I was just like, I just, he just, brought me up here, we've known each other for a while, and he just brought me up there. And he was like, I should be up there. And I was like, what makes you say that? Like, like I said, I'm in my bag right now, so I'm just like, okay, well, like, what makes you say that? And he's like, I got he said like 1.2 on his like, what you mean? And then I kind of whispered to him. I was like, you want to know why I'm up here and you're not up here? Is because like because I respect this hustle, I respect this grind, and I'm humble about it. You feel like everybody owes you something just because you got that, and I'm like, no, like that's an honor, like that's a privilege, and the last thing you would want to do is think everybody owes you something just because you have that. So I told him that I'm like, yeah, there's a difference why I'm up here and you're not.
And you were
So I
looking
said,
up at me.
well, I wouldn't say that because I didn't know who the brother was. I don't
Yeah,
think he knew who I
yeah,
was either. I mean, I didn't really care because at the end of the day, it's like those opportunities and those experiences you always got to take with a grain of salt because, like I said, you never know if that'll be like your last opportunity or last moment like that. Like for me, that was a special moment. But you won't see me after going around like with my shirt off saying, "Yeah, I'm him, Himothy." Like, can I sign you? Like, no, it's not like that. So it's like one of those things where cool moment. All right, back to hanging out with my buddy. So it's one of those things that it's just like it's just a moment for me, special moment.
Recently I've been stuck in the hundreds, the 100K, which still, I mean, it's a very good amount. Been stuck
Great
there for
amount, yeah.
maybe a year or two. Took a break from TikTok, got back into it, finding a groove right now. But yeah, it's a lot. It's very humbling, and I think if you only focus on the numbers and the views, it's really draining because
It was draining. It was very draining. Yeah.
I used to do it for fun, and then I started focusing on the numbers, and I kind of lost passion, lost a love for it. Now I'm
Yeah.
back. I'm having fun with it. Still focused on the numbers, but not as much as I used to.
And
But look, that's what it's about, man. You realize what's important, and you just kind of run with it. You know what I'm saying?
and you know what? I say this, hearing you say that, that just lets me know that that little moment where you feel like you're about to give up, but you don't, that happens to every single great creator. That I mean, I talked to AJ about that, Go 30 about that, Boy. I talked to all of them about that. They said that all happened to them at one point, and they're all doing, amazing things. And one thing I'll say, I heard this and it just stuck with me. Like I remember when Shaquille O'Neal he was on the podcast, he was on the Pivot with Ryan Clark, Channing, and Freddie T. And he said he made a quote for himself, and he goes, "If a nobody can influence a somebody, then the nobody wins." And that just like, and hearing that just kind of like gave me chills, and that just kind of gave me like a new perspective. And I was like, don't let these like numbers or these naysayers like change your grind or change your direction. Like keep it going, keep moving forward. And so I've been preaching this year more than anything, like don't ever give up in any facet of like no matter what you're going through because there's light at the end of the tunnel. And I've learned that this year alone. So yeah, like I always say, like or like Shaq says, like if nobody can influence somebody, then the nobody wins, and you don't want that to happen.
Mic drop. Mic drop.
Yeah, yeah,
That's
major,
fire, man.
major
That's
mic drop.
fire.
Yeah.
Cliff, last question I got for you here. Which sport has the better athletes, NBA or the NFL?
You know what? I would actually say NFL, and the only and I would say NFL because I've seen a lot of these NFL players. I mean, they can jump out the gym. They can. I mean, like I never forget. So this was like my sophomore year, and I went to go visit my friend in Florida State. So during James, he was just getting ready for the draft, and they got this student rec center. I think it's called the Leach, I believe. And so he was in there. I mean, he was doing like off the glass windmills, between the left. And I was like, man, I'm like, these dudes are athletic. And then when I was working for the Rams, we saw Jalen Ramsey hoop. We saw a lot of these guys hoop, and I'm like, y'all are just natural athletes. So yeah, I would definitely say I'd say football for sure. I mean, they can jump out the gym. It's unreal.
And there's a lot of times NFL players end up becoming NBA players. You don't really see it going the other
Yeah,
way. You don't see it
yeah,
going the other
big
way.
facts. Yeah.
Clifford, thank you so much for coming on, man. Make sure to go check out Clifford Taylor IV on all platforms. He's the man. So happy to have you come on, man. Any last words? You want to plug anything?
Man, thank you guys for having me. Playmaker, you know the vibes, man. But yeah, follow me at on TikTok at Clifford. Biggest flex in my life. Having that first name as a
Oh,
thing,
that's a
that's
big
really
one.
cool.
That's a big one. That's a big one.
Yeah, my IG Clifford Taylor IV, and then my YouTube at the Clifford Show now. So yeah, no, appreciate you guys for having me, and much love always. Thank y'all.
Let's get it, man. Thanks for coming on. Clifford Taylor's, you're in shambles.
Y'all look nervous, breathing all heavy. Look, we gon' keep it going till it's raining confetti. I'm in the camera smiling, cheese, don't it look like some confetti? I got it. We ready.